Guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, today we are continuing a conversation about whole foods. We talked about why it is important to eat whole foods for nutrients, for vitamins, for minerals, for adequate hunger and appetite control naturally, to prevent fat accumulation, to maintain ideal body weight, and of course all the things that are going to be a result of that your fitness, your health, your increased confidence, energy, productivity, all of that. Whole foods allow you to eat in an optimal way without having to count every single carb, calorie, and thinking about all these, tricks and hacks to create an optimal eating routine. So whole foods, we talked a lot about on the episode on Monday, on Wednesday, and today I would like to talk about a very simple thing, a couple of foods that you might be familiar with that are kind of in a gray zone when it comes to whole foods, but they are amazing sources of nutrients very often, and a lot of you might love them. I certainly do love one of them. So we are talking about yogurt kind of things and smoothies, because technically you can't really chew them a lot. Well, you don't have to, right? And so this process of chewing, this step of digestion, chewing, that helps our body to increase awareness of the food we are about to eat, to digest, to absorb. So this process of chewing helps to raise this awareness, to trigger certain signals of satiety, to prepare our digestive system to feel fuller faster when we chew better. That also happens. So in things like yogurt or smoothies that are kind of not whole foods really, because you didn't chew your, spinach or avocado or banana that you put into your smoothie. You didn't, right? So you bypass that process, and that's why I do not recommend to go for smoothies as your to-go meal or some replacement meal shakes. But things like, yogurt, they are naturally in that state. The natural state of that whole food is milk, and then it was fermented into yogurt. And so what do you do with that? To increase chewability, what I like to call this property of food when we need to chew it, to increase it and help us to, again, limit the amount naturally, to feel fuller sooner, to maintain ideal body weight better, and to, in general, have better, more balanced eating habits. So what do I do? For example, I eat about 500 milliliters of yogurt, so basically half a liter, to get almost all the calcium I need. So yeah, you need about 500 milliliters of yogurt on average to get closer to covering all of your calcium needs, for example. Plus, of course, there are vitamins like B vitamins, B12, B2. There are probiotics that are amazing for your gut, but I eat yogurt in that amount specifically for calcium. That is important for almost everything you do, because every time our neurons in our brain need to communicate, every time we need to think, we need to perform an action and contract our muscles, we need calcium for that. And so calcium is very important, and you need to know where your calcium comes from in your diet. And most people are not getting enough, and when you're not getting enough, what the body does, it takes the calcium out of your bones and puts it into your bloodstream, so you can use it for all these other important purposes, right? Calcium is important. So, but yogurt, what do? Because especially if you drink it, you get some drinkable yogurt or kefir, another great product, similar to yogurt, but usually more liquid. So what do you do to make sure that you don't overdo it, that you still trigger satiety, that you prolong the time that you keep it in your mouth to, again, start digestion and trigger those satiety receptors in your digestive tract? So what I do is I add some nuts and seeds, well, actually just seeds, usually sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. And I usually add something like cacao nibs or crushed cacao beans. And I add a couple of handfuls into my yogurt or kefir in a cup. And then I eat it. And I have to chew it because otherwise it's not really nice experience to just swallow and chew things. That's probably not going to be digested all that well. And so I chew my yogurt. And believe it or not, it works really, really well. But first of all, it's going to take time for you to consume half a liter of yogurt when you have to chew every single spoon of it. And it's going to help you to trigger those satiety signals and balance and normalize your eating procedure, your eating of yogurt. And I recommend you to do the same. And if you're a person who also loves smoothies, then I also highly recommend you to increase the chewability of your smoothie so you can't just swallow in one gulp half a liter or a liter of yogurt with ton of bananas, berries, maybe ton of added fats like coconut oil, maybe avocado. So what I recommend you to do, don't put your nuts and seeds into that smoothie and then blend it and then just drink it. No, what I recommend you to do is to blend the major ingredients like your greens, your fruit, whatever else you decide to put in your smoothie. And then once it's blended, you put there some nuts and seeds, like sunflower seeds are my favorite for vitamin E. For example, also pumpkin seeds are great for zinc and magnesium especially. So put a couple of handfuls into your smoothie, depending on how big your smoothie is, and eat it with a spoon. And that, guys, will help you to, again, naturally balance and control your eating portions and the amount of food you consume when the food doesn't really have a lot to chew. And probably the same kind of thing I would do with things like different sorts of soups or soup puree. Because again, there, everything is pureed and you don't really chew it and you don't trigger satiety all that well. And it's very easy to overeat calories in those things, especially if those soups or smoothies, whatever you might have a lot of fat added. You can just basically very quickly drink the whole thing, consuming sometimes thousands of calories. And that's why, increase the chewability of your drinkable nutrition. For soups, what works really well and adds a lot of nutrition, seeds, because they're kind of savory. They're not sweet. So pumpkin seeds especially work for most of the soups. Maybe have a pouch with you wherever you go. These days you can purchase single serving containers. And if you are somewhere else where you get your soup, or maybe you're at home and you are trying to also manage your nuts and seeds servings, then purchase single containers. Single servings. It might cost a little bit more, but it will help you to naturally manage your portions, again, without too much work or thinking or controlling, taking handfuls out of a bigger bag. So the main message of today's podcast is to control your appetite naturally, to manage your portions, to manage your servings, to manage how much food you eat on a regular basis naturally without you having to always think about it. And whatever makes you think too much about it, at some point, more often than not, it's going to snap and you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to overeat and more often than you like to maintain your ideal weight and health and eating habits. So back to the message, increase the chewability of those more liquidy kind of things, your yogurts, your smoothies, your soup purees, or, if you do use some sort of shakes, then also, increase the chewability of that. So even if you drink, your protein shakes, put some nuts and seeds there, have them with you. So you actually have to chew that. And believe me, guys, that will allow you to increase satiety be a lot, and it will increase the time that you eat it, and it's going to be so much harder for you to overeat. Plus, a person like me, I always try to maximize my time. I'm like, okay, I'm already eating this half a liter of yogurt for like 20 minutes. I should stop. I don't have all the time in the day to eat this yogurt, and so that also naturally helps me to control portions, because I could eat a whole liter of yogurt every single day and double that amount if I were to eat it fast and just swallow and drink it, right? But because I put seeds there and also cacao nibs that are quite hard to chew, I never am able to do that. So that's a quick and smart tip and hack that will help you to manage your servings, your portions with more liquid nutrition. So I'm not saying, you gotta be super strict about whole foods, especially if they're like really high quality foods, but you do need to have some method that you can do for life to help you to manage those servings. Otherwise, 100 calories a day plus, and in a week it's going to be 700 calories, and in 5 weeks, it's going to be additional pound of fat on your body potentially. And that's why it's important to have some tools that will help you to eat the same amount of food, no matter, what day it is, how hungry you are, and other factors. So let me know what you think about this episode. Did you find it useful? Do you think you're going to try it? If you're not sure still what to do, how to do it, then please reach out to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today. Reach out with your questions. Share this episode with one another person who might be struggling with managing their liquid nutrition. Like everything is good, but once they start, consuming smoothies or yogurts or soups, they overshoot the calories all the time. So share this episode with them. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And till next time, eat better daily. And also add some seeds to your yogurt or smoothie.